Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we are playing a deck that was suggested by Max Holland. My plan is to make videos like this for supporters only. I need a way to move my request queue a little faster, and this is a way that I can do it by making some supporters only videos where I'll play the deck you request a few times, and then we'll talk about if I would change it, if I would improve it, what I would do with the deck. So let's go find a game. I'm just going to take it out to the ladder and goof around with it a bit. It'll affect my rank for now, but we'll do the unranked ladder as soon as that comes out, so you don't have to worry about affecting rank. And that should be tomorrow. They should be launching that ladder. So yeah, expect this to be supporters only, unless the gameplay is just so amazing that I can't hide it from the world. We're fighting famous British singer Dido. I love the sample you did on that Eminem song, Dido. I think that we can keep this. Removal, map, Phoenix, Warboss. As long as we find some land, we will be just fine. So unlike traditional red, which slams, get you lava runners and stuff, this one tries to play a little bit of a more controlled game, removing very early threats and using kind of stronger removal spells like Lava Coil, using Treasure Map to find the right things, and then launching threats that are hard to deal with, like Rekindling Phoenix. I do think the matchup with traditional red could be very good, and because I would prefer to curve out rather than spend time scrying with Treasure Map, I think the right play is to launch this Lava Coil, because if my opponent spends their second turn on a Steamkin or a Pyromancer, the traditional 2-drops, the Legion Warboss's token can attack right through those. Then the opponent has to untap and deal with our Warboss before it generates another token. And those tokens could be very handy, and we've been very lucky. We've drawn 2 straight lands, so Rekindling Phoenix will be online on time, which is a big deal. The opponent dealing with those might be very challenging. Alright, 3rd mana. The opponent is trying to trade with my Warboss, but I want to make them kill my Warboss. They might have a Goblin Chainwhirler, which is the nastiest thing that could happen, as it just takes out the token and eats the next token. But if they have to spend mana on the Warboss, then they're off curve for the Chainwhirler. And now we've got our little Gobbo token who can block the Pyromancer, and we throw down a Rekindling Phoenix. What you got for that? If our opponent lightning strikes the Phoenix, then plays a Chainwhirler, that's also very bad. I do feel like the opponent might have played a Chainwhirler if they had it, though. Oh, doesn't look like that's going to happen. No, Goblin Chainwhirler. Where art thou? I have you in my deck. Why don't you come out and play? Opponent probably feels really juicy about themselves right now. Another Warboss is not really what we're looking for, but another Phoenix. That can make things a little hard for the opponent. Okay, maybe not as hard as we'd hope, as the opponent seems to have no lack of removal ready for us today. And the double Chainwhirler draw is just so brutal. I'm not sure what could get us back in it, a Siege Gang Commander perhaps, but instead we've drawn literally 4 straight lands. At first I was grateful, now I'm just annoyed. Treasure Map, Siege Gang, I don't think we can do better. Okay, go to 1 or go to 2. I guess 2 doesn't lose to a Fanatical Firebrand or another Goblin Chainwhirler, but we're dead to another Goblin Chainwhirler anyway. So I guess Fanatical Firebrand is what we're playing around with this block. I don't think I'll play around that. And if the opponent's slow rolling burn anyway, they can, you know, yeah, that's just mean. That's just a really mean thing to do, Dido. I thought you'd be a nice singer. You have such a pretty voice. Wow. Let's see what happens. I don't know if this is a mulligan or not. The value of Siege Gang Commander in the format is so up and down. Who cares if they have Golden Demise? Who cares if they have Disdainful Stroke or any counterspell? But if it's just kind of a weird mid-game battle, maybe it's totally legit to have a Siege Gang Commander. Okay, the opponent's going to open on a Sulphur Falls. We draw Shivan Fire. Shivan Fire taking the place of 2 of the shocks in the deck for the ability to go a little bigger. Specifically hitting Drakes seems to be what the Shivan Fire is for. Our opponent appears to be some kind of Grixis control deck, so I'm not going to wait with my Chainwhirler for value. I'm going to put a threat on the battlefield. Try to get my opponent to make a priority of dealing with it. Here's a Discovery. Doesn't tell us a lot. They don't bin anything. So not a lot of information on what type of Grixis we're up against, other than they play a lot of lands that enter the battlefield tapped right now. So we get this 3 damage in. God, I wish I could play a Chainwhirler, or not a Chainwhirler, but a Siege Gang right there, as when Counter Magic opens up, we're in much more trouble. And Vraska's Contempt coming down. Okay. Well, that's going to give us an opportunity to play Siege Gang. Why not? If we get to untap with our goblins, an Arch of Orazca could have City's Blessing, so we could see some fun Arch of Orazca moments. Moment of Craving, instantly taking it out. Search for his Kanta. Yeah, this looks like a kill it all, full-on Grixis control thing. Let's show him the backside of our hand with these goblin tokens. Hiya! Let's play another Chainwhirler. Keep the pressure high. And there's City's Blessing. Ritual Soot could be very frustrating here. But the deck is actually a secret Banefire deck. It runs, I believe, 3 copies of Banefire. And the idea is usually to use Treasure Map and Arch of Orazca, draw a bunch of cards, get deep in the deck, and cast huge Banefires. And that's how we close out control. Which is a pretty good strategy since life gain right now is pretty limited in control decks. Sure. Opponent going after our hand and taking the shock. So that's what they're most afraid of. Not the Chainwhirler, which means maybe they're looking for Ritual of Soot, some nonsense like that. So I don't think we want to develop more on the board. Although, if we resolve the Siege Gang Commander, a Golden Demise takes out all the tokens and the Siege Gang, but not the Chainwhirler. And a Ritual of Soot takes out everything but Siege Gang itself. Either way, we get very close to killing our opponent the following turn. So the only thing I'm really scared of is a Star of Extinction, which could happen. This could flip, but holding this in hand seems a bit too risky, given that we're up against Thought Erasures and probably some amount of counter spells, so I like getting under it here. Sinister Sabotage, yep. And there's the Ritual of Soot. But is there also a Moment of Craving? Doesn't appear that there is yet. A Direfleet Daredevil. I don't think there's anything that burns over here, but there is a Thought Erasure, which is pretty nasty. And probably pretty clutch. Alright, Let's see if the opponent has a response to this Siege Gang commander hitting them like a Moment of Craving. They do not. Slide you underneath Sinister Sabotage mana. Let's go get your Thought Erasure. Let's cast your Thought Erasure. Ooh, so mean. Niv Mizzet, Nicole Bolas. I think they have the right mana for Niv, and they do. If they tap out for that, do they lose though? One, I can do 2 from Siege Gang. And another 2 from the, and then another 1, 2, 3 from Siege Gang and Chainwhirler. But I need another land for that. Instead, I have Shivan Fire for Bolas. So I'll take the Niv. There is the land. So now we can Shivan Fire the Bolas and use the land to finish the job. So we'll keep. Interesting question here. Do you go for Bolas or do you try to dig up a Moment of Craving? And it looks like Bolas is the answer, especially with a Shivan Fire in the hand that they know about. So, down with Chainwhirler. My turn. Kick it. Kill you. Combat. All attack. And now I'm the mean one because I'm slow rolling the mountain to finish the job. But I wanted to actually show the kill. So forgive me, world. The deck's more of a headache than a typical mid-range deck is for control decks. Mainly because of the treasure maps. The Siege Gang Commander can be a huge follow-up to a sweeper. Dire Fleet Daredevil does a number. Legion Warboss does a number. And of course the Banefire finish. Our opponent down to 5. What are they doing? They're in a tough spot already. Whether or not to play a Dire Fleet Daredevil on turn 2 is 100% about what you can gauge from the matchup. So against green, the odds of us actually ever getting to use this on anything seem low. And I'm guessing it's green-black. Maybe it's green-white, but let's find out. Maybe we'll learn something this turn. However, against creature decks, Dire Fleet Daredevil for 2 is perfectly reasonable play, especially when you have multiples. You just don't know if it's ever going to do anything for you. Casting, getting a Flower Flourish from a green-white player, for example, what are you going to do with that? You ain't got no plains. You ain't got no forest. Getting a March of the Multitudes, well, that can be fun, but you don't want to wait for that. We might be waiting like 15 turns before that comes up. So our opponent, are they resorting to full rope? Is that what this slightly mana-screwed opponent wants? Okay, green-black. Turn 2 Wildgrowth Walker. That's what you mulligan for. So that's not a very good thing to throw your Dire Fleet into. And they may be playing with cards like Cast Down and Vraska's Contempt. So I think in this matchup, we will save our Daredevils. At least until we're getting beaten down by 2 toughness things. But no Lava Coil for this is stressful. Stressful is a good word. Now the opponent's thinking, is there a lightning strike? I should probably have my bluff on. We should probably be in full control mode. At least make the opponent think that lightning strike's a possibility. But now they have double Wildgrowth Walker, and if they have 1 Explore creature, this game is so hard. Well, I think they know if I had a lightning strike I would use it here, so the jig is up there. Do we drop a Chainwhirler? I suppose we don't want to take too much of a beating this way, so I'll drop a Chainwhirler. Might hide that we have another one. But we might just get beaten out of the room. Oh my goodness. This is absurd. Would you like to keep your 6-drop stuck on 2 land? No, probably not. Now, do they try to beat me down? I don't know. Nope. The answer is nope. Fine. Rekindling Phoenix, something that can actually keep up with this nonsense. Second Chainwhirler also can hold Wild Growth Walkers off for quite a while. But this is where Legion Warboss just looks like a buffoon. What are you gonna do? You're gonna throw it, you're gonna send a goblin into this? Into this! Go over there. Beat up the giant swamp thingies. And all the little humans walking around with their lanterns and stuff, and the merfolks. Goblin's like, okay, I guess. May as well. So bad. Wow, I think that this player climbs the rank through the rope. I think that we've got a rope ladder master here. No timeouts. If that thing goes to 0, you lose your turn. Lose it. Really? The decision to play a land gives you like half your turn back? I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Come on, people. Oh, we're done. Okay. Sure. I could attack with Chainwhirler, and it opens up this interesting line of a block from one walker, means I play another Chainwhirler to kill it, and then I have Lava Coil for the other. Let's do it. Let's get them. Let's get them. If they multi-block, I'm going to have to stack my blocks differently. Lava Coiling first doesn't really change the equation, but that not Lava Coiling first allows like a bigger range of plays that I could have, meaning our opponent may not block at all and take the damage, which is fine with me too. And there you go. All right, Lava Coil your walker. And I'll play other Chainwhirler. I don't have to. I could play a Daredevil instead. But holding this for like cast down or something like that feels smart. I don't know. Getting the opponent to attack would be interesting. I don't think we can. 18. We're up 2 creatures. I don't really want to play the other Chainwhirler. I can play a post-combat Warboss. That's fine. If I just want to have something else on the battlefield. The Warboss and its 1/1 token don't matter too much. And now I can attack and make them both 2/2s in the same attack phase. Maybe that'll get my opponent to do something silly. Anybody want to attack? Nobody? We're gonna sit. So they sat through their whole turn cycle last turn and this turn. I don't think they have anything. Ravenous Chupacabra, Vivian Reed, Carnage Tyrant are the most likely cards on their top end. Let's move to combat. Let's make a Gabo who must attack. Phoenix is going to attack. Chainwhirler is going to continue its plan of attack. But I don't think I want to throw my Warboss into this yet. It could still matter. You know, the opponent's being super careful. I don't know how long they can afford to do that, though. Not very long, I don't think. So we could throw down 2 Daredevils. They don't match up well with the board, but it gives us another thing. We're getting close to where our opponent will be at 7. We might be able to attack with a lot of things and overwhelm them. And I don't think they're going to sweep the board. So let's get them on. Let's get them out there. And we're definitely getting to a spot where maybe we just set up so that we can draw a Banefire later. The Wild Growth Walker is annoying because it can, well, that's game. The Wild Growth Walker is very annoying because it can rebuild that life total, but if we force them into a block and then can clean it up with a Chainwhirler or draw a removal spell, we're good. We're good. All right, so what the heck is, what do I think of this deck? This deck is a very specific playstyle and a very specific spot in the metagame. It's good against control, better than it looks. So that's an important part of it. And the other part of it is if you are just in a sloggy fight with a green-black deck, you don't lose as soon as they explore a Wild Growth Walker. You can kill it later and make up the damage. This deck relies on a few things being good. Is Siege Gang Commander good? If it just runs into a counterspell because you weren't able to get earlier pressure on the opponent, then Siege Gang Commander is very bad. If it runs into Golden Demise, if that card's really popular, it's very bad. Rekindling Phoenix. How much Exile is played in the format? With all the Lava Coils running around, is Rekindling Phoenix good? You have to understand each matchup you're in. How good is Siege Gang Commander? How good is Rekindling Phoenix? How good is Legion Warboss? And how good is Dire Fleet Daredevil? You saw Legion Warboss being a bit of a trash pile on a clogged up board or against mono red aggro. You didn't see Dire Fleet Daredevil against mono red, but it's very good, getting to flash back their Shock or their Lightning Strike and put a 2/1 First Striker in the way. Like, all of these are so fluctuating that you have to think pretty hard about the hands you're keeping, the spells you're casting, and what you are scrying with on Treasure Map, if you even get that opportunity. The main thing is, try to get in a few hits. If your Legion Warboss does a bit of damage, great. If your Siege Gang Commander flings some goblins, great. If your Rekindling Phoenix hits once or twice, great. You have 3 Banefire in the deck, try to get to them, roast the opponent alive. After sideboarding, you can make some adjustments to sort of favor which part of the deck works the best. In a board stall, get the war bosses out of there, get in some cards like Fight with Fire, get in some Fiery Cannonades, get in Karn. Against control, you probably need to take out cards like Rekindling Phoenix unless they specifically don't run Lava Coil or Seal Away, which, what deck is that? I don't know. And whether or not you want Siege Gang Commander really depends. Probably. The plan against control, Legion Warboss, get them to respect the Warboss, get them to clean up the board after Warboss gets out there, sneaks onto the board, and then follow with the Siege Gang Commander. I don't think you can cut like all these threats, but that's where Legion Warboss has to shine. Sorcerous Spyglass, locking that to Fairy down. Star of Extinction, Golgari, for sure. An extra land, probably also Golgari for the grindiest fights where you have 2 Arch of Orazcas drawing a bunch of cards. And yeah, you've got to really be able to draw your Banefires at the right time and finish the game that way. Not my playstyle. I don't prefer these sort of up-the-middle decks. I very much prefer to know my role and have it be a little bit clearer. A good analytical player can always figure out the right place to be, but you'll be in a lot of spots where you're just not sure. You have to go one way or the other, and it's a pretty feels bad when it doesn't work. And so yeah, that's my take on this mono red deck. Thanks to Max Holland for the support on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope all of you patrons are enjoying the extra content. Remember to get in your deck requests on Discord. Thank you so much for helping me. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.